Hello, everyone. Thanks for listening to Wake Up, Look Up, a podcast where we connect events happening in real time to the gospel of Jesus Christ. I'm Zach Weihrauch. And in today's episode, we're asking the question, is being weird the key to love? And the reason I'm asking this is it's something I read this week in the Washington Post. And I should make the point that it's going to take me a second to connect this to love, but hang in there because I think it's a pretty powerful point. It was actually an article about interior design. It was one of those articles where they recommend that you practice something or you apply something to your life to kind of elevate your living situation. And in this article, what they were saying is that when you're designing your interiors in your home, you should not be afraid of being weird. And by being weird, what they meant is you shouldn't be afraid of introducing something into the room that doesn't feel like it fits there, something that doesn't match the color scheme or doesn't match the vibe. And the argument was pretty simple. They were saying that a lot of us decorate almost like we're replicating something we've seen in a magazine. There's a kind of sterility to it, kind of pristine condition that makes it feel like a well-designed room, but not necessarily a home, a lived-in space. And actually the key to a room going from the magazine to an actual home is you interjecting something personal, something messy, something weird, something that only you would put in the room, which then makes it your room instead of just a randomly kind of perfectly designed space. And that got me thinking. Because the reason we tend to design sterile spaces is because culture has a way of telling us that the path to being accepted, the path to not being made fun of or to being included is sterility, that we should be like everyone else. And the more we're like everyone else, or the more we design spaces that are like everyone else, the more we will fit in. And the thing is, that might be true. That might be the key to fitting in, but it's not the key to being loved. And the reason why I say that is because when the Bible talks about being loved, it is often synonymous with the concept of intimacy. And intimacy is being fully known and fully loved. In other words, it's the idea that someone really knows you, not the sterile you, not the professional clinical you, but the real you, the weird you, the you with all the parts that you tend to hide. That the key to being loved is actually someone seeing that, knowing that part of you, and choosing to love you anyways. The best biblical reference for this comes in Genesis, when the Bible says that Adam and Eve were naked and without shame. What that means is that Adam was all the way Adam with Eve, and Eve all the way Eve with Adam. There was no sterility. There was no professional version. There was no clinical space for them to spend time with. They both knew who the other person was, and they loved that person, which actually enabled that person to be themselves, including all the weird parts. And I say this because we've covered loneliness a lot in Wake Up, Look Up, and how we are increasingly a culture of isolation and a culture of loneliness. And if you've ever wondered how it's possible that you could be in so many crowded spaces and yet be so lonely, the answer is you're not naked and without shame. You're presenting a version of yourself. But the same thing that is true of your spaces in your home is true of your own life. That if you really want to be loved, that's going to mean letting your weird come out, letting your silliness come out, letting your sides of you that you tend to hide actually be known in the context of marriage, in the context of friendships, in the context of your church. Because letting down your guard is not only how you let someone love you, it's actually how you let yourself receive love. And what this article was telling us is it's actually the key to bringing life into our homes and into our spaces. So if you've been feeling alone, even in crowded spaces, I want to challenge you that in response to this episode, with the right people in the right situations, you might commit yourself to actual intimacy, being known, and therefore being able to be loved, even your weird stuff. Hey, thanks so much for watching this video. While you're here, we'd love to ask you to hit subscribe or to like so you get future content. If you listen to the audio version too, make sure you leave a review and a comment. That really helps. Consider sharing it on social media and helping us get the word out. And hey, while you're here, check out all the other content that Christ Community Chapel is putting out, including the videos that are around me right now.